Hi, I'm Steve Meldy, pastor of Christ Presbyterian Church in Tucson, Arizona, and this is Going Deeper with the story, Chapter 5. In Chapter 5 of the story, we discover how God gave Moses and the people the Ten Commandments, a group of commandments to help them work together and be a community. The first 4 centering on having a relationship with God, and the next set of 6, how to have a relationship with each other. As we go deeper, here's what I want you to think about. In that part of the story, God tells Moses and the people to build a tabernacle, a tent of meeting, where God would come into their midst and dwell. And indeed, God does. And what's really kind of funny is that despite all of that, the people still wonder if God is with them. With God's presence right there in their midst, they still wondered if God was with them. I think perhaps because their expectations weren't what they should be. I wonder if the people really expected God perhaps to be a chef at a buffet table. Because, they kept crying for more food and different kinds of food. But indeed, what God was a true provider. And I began to wonder, are our expectations of how God makes an appearance in our lives getting in the way of noticing that God is in our lives? Now, some of us expect that God will be with us, and so we see and experience God. And that's great. But I wonder sometimes if we limit our experience with God based on our expectations of how God will be with us. So I want you to go deeper, and I want you to look at your own expectations of how God reveals God's self to you and expand them, and be open to the so many ways that God reveals God's self to us. Keep going deeper, because this is indeed your story, my story, God's story, and together it is the greatest story we could ever tell.